Hi, I'm Andy Pitts. Welcome to Saturday in the Shop, where we talk woodworking and I try to answer some of the questions you've posted on my YouTube channel, Andy Pitts 1000. Last week I was talking about this coffee table that I'm refurbishing, so here's a little follow-up. So last week we talked about this table that I'm refurbishing, and I just wanted to show you, this is how the sides are going in. I've got 6 dowels, and you notice that lower dowel fits on this little T-frame part there, and the reason for that is just to give it a little more vertical stability. There we go, there's the glue up, and I'm using the original stretcher as a spacer at the top just to keep the ends parallel. You notice that the piece is finished already. It's because I like to finish as much as I can before the glue up, so that I don't have to be finishing, you know, little corners like this where the finish can build up. So if I can put finish on it before the gluing, that's what I try to do. Now you can see how this lift mechanism that I spoke of last week fits in. It just screws into the tops of these vertical legs, and there's a crank that you can raise this. The top fits on there. Now you have an adjustable table. And this is the table with the 2 extension pieces on the end fully extended, and they're going to fit down under the table in the unextended mode. And there's the table in the unextended mode with the leaves housed underneath the top. Sorry, but for this one I have to point the camera out into the shop, so I'll just speak up so folks can hear me. I've been asked about this lift that I use. Sometimes I build a piece of furniture that's just too large or too awkward for me to move, for me to actually lift, so I use this little, what's called a dandy lift. And this comes from Southwork Products, which is headquartered up in Maine. And it's just got a little foot valve here. A foot pedal that I can just pump this thing up. It's like a mini forklift. And so I can lift up a piece, you know, to work on or to move. When I'm all done, I just go ahead and open the valve, let it come on down. And it comes so low that you can slip it under a lot of the furniture you make and pick them up. So it's very handy, and it's got locks on the wheels, so you can lock it in place so it doesn't go anywhere. I received a note from 958 Chris on veneering. He asked, do I veneer because hardwood is cost prohibitive? Do I veneer because the substrate is more stable? Do I veneer because you cannot get exotic woods in veneer? Or all of the above and any other reasons? In a word, yes. I veneer for a lot of different reasons. One of the reasons is you can't get easily, anyway, some of the woods that are really nice in solid wood. I had a project where I was making some doors for a buffet, and we were going to use curly maple, and I tried to find solid wood, and I just couldn't. So I bought veneers, and I could book match the veneers and make nice wide panels. As a matter of fact, I could not only make wide panels, I could make curved panels. Here's a cutoff from one of those doors. I got curly maple on the curve. I used bendable plywood to make a solid, or a very stable, curved substrate. And I used some plain maple on the inside of the curve because you always want to veneer both sides of your substrate. So that's one reason that I do that. Here's another example of some nice walnut, which you can book match. Of course, this veneer is very, very thin. So one of the other reasons I veneer is to use thicker wood. in a shelf unit that I made a few years ago called Wicomico Persimmon. I used my client's persimmon tree and I resawed thick, you know, these are almost an 1/8 inch thick veneers, and if you look at that pictures of that on my website, you'll see that I was able to veneer these nice curved sides with this sawn veneer of their own persimmon. So that's another reason to use veneer. I use veneer also for making bent laminations that are stable. Here's a good example. My jewel chest. The door is actually 5 layers of band-sawn cherry veneer bent on a curved form and very stable. Same with the drawers. The drawers are 5 layers of holly bent on a form and very stable. Here's a rough of one of those drawers. You can see the layers there. I also use that same technique on my wave box. My wave box is made of 4 layers of veneer. In this case, the outer layer and the inner layer are cherry, and the inside layers are maple. And in this case, I actually bought the 1/16 inch thick cherry, and I bought some walnut and some maple veneers where I could just cut these to size and go straight to the bending form. Here's some other examples of veneers that I cut myself out of oak. They make nice thick veneers that are hard to sand through, so sometimes I'll do that. Another reason that I veneer sometimes is to be able to make things that I couldn't make otherwise. In my executive desk, I veneered the top with a kind of a sunburst pattern all around. That's something that would have been very difficult with solid wood, and it would not have been stable, so I was able to make a stable substrate and then veneer that, and that made a very nice top. So there's lots of reasons for veneering. You know, can't just boil it down to one reason. There's lots. I'm sure other people have other reasons, you know, using exotic woods and so forth, which you know, would be very, very cost prohibitive otherwise. And it's just a good tool to have in your workshop.